Israel is facing international condemnation after airstrikes killed at least 45 people sheltering in tents near a UN building in southern Gaza on Sunday. Many of the dead and injured were, again, women and children. The Palestinian Red Crescent says people were burned alive in their tents. The Israeli government has admitted its airstrike on Rafah resulted in a fire that killed Palestinian civilians.
To the events of last night, according to initial reports, these are initial reports, a fire broke out after the attack, which appears to have taken civilian lives. Civilian casualties are desperately sad, but this is the war Hamas wanted and started.
Well, Arab countries have denounced the attack. Qatar says the bombing will hinder chances of a ceasefire agreement, while Egypt has called it the deliberate bombardment of displaced people. And the three European nations set to recognise Palestine as a state on Tuesday have also condemned the attack. Ireland, Norway and Spain all accuse Israel of breaching international humanitarian law by refusing to end its assault on the southern city. Axel Zajmovic begins our coverage.
Sifting through rubble and ashes, Palestinians try to salvage what they can from the charred remains of their temporary homes. On Sunday, at least 8 Israeli missiles struck a tent camp in Rafah, housing dozens of displaced families in an area the Israeli military itself had designated as a safe zone. The airstrike sparked a fire, killing dozens of people, most of them women and children. Witnesses say some were trapped inside these tents and burned alive.
I lost 5 family members. We were sitting in tents when suddenly the camp was bombed. I lost 5 family members, all burned completely. Among the victims were pregnant women. They kept telling us this area was safe until we're bombed.
We were praying. We had just performed the Maghrib prayer and we were getting our children's beds ready to sleep. There was nothing unusual. Then we heard a very loud noise and fire erupted around us. All the children started screaming and all the nearby rooms were shaking. The sound was terrifying.
Severely burned survivors were taken to the few hospitals in Rafah, still functioning. These children have been orphaned, their parents killed in the attack. Several victims died because without medicine or supplies, health workers are unable to provide proper treatment.
There is no security in Gaza. There is no security, not for a child, an elderly man, or for a woman. Here he is with his wife. They were killed. They are gone. He left the children, the innocent ones. What have they done to deserve this?
The Israeli attack comes in defiance of Friday's ruling by the International Court of Justice, which ordered an immediate halt to the military assault on Rafah, citing the catastrophic humanitarian situation in the city and the immense risk posed to the hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who had sought refuge there. Axel Zajmovic, Al Jazeera.
Hind Al-Qudari joins me on the line from Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. Hind, you've been to the site of this attack in Rafah. Can you talk us through what you saw there, what people were telling you?
Well, we made it to the location of the target a couple of hours after the incident took place. It's a very massive and empty land behind the UNRWA logistics base with thousands of tents. The fire was actually still erupting. People were striving to contain the fire. They were using sand because there were no water resources. Everything was burned. According to the eyewitnesses, there were 20 tents that were completely burned. The children there were terrified. They said that it was a very loud explosion and all they saw was an orange sky and ambulances rushing to the area, transferring injuries. We saw burned body parts and flesh. Some people started their new journey of displacement, but other people told me that they chose to stay because even if they evacuate and go to another area, there's no place safe and there's no guarantee that the Israeli forces will target them. In the last update, the health ministry in Gaza said that the death toll increased to 45 people, including 23 women, children, and elderly, and with at least 249 Palestinians injured. Till now, our breathing system is not operating back again because the blaze and the fire and all of these burnt stuff, the smell is still stuck in my head. It was a very harsh night at everyone that was displaced in this makeshift camp. People are left nowhere, and they feel homeless and displaced, and they do not really know where they should go.
Hind al-Qudari there describing what she saw in the aftermath of that attack in Rafah. Thank you very much, Hind. Well, Israel says it killed 2 senior Hamas commanders in that attack, but says that the details of the strike are still under investigation. Meanwhile, though, the 2 countries involved in mediating between Israel and Hamas have condemned it. Egypt's foreign ministry called it the deliberate bombardment of displaced people's tents in Rafah. And it's called on Israel to abide by the top UN court's ruling to halt military actions in Rafah. Qatar, too, has condemned the attack, saying the bombing would only complicate ongoing mediation efforts as well as hinder plans to reach an agreement for a ceasefire. French President Emmanuel Macron says he's outraged and that Israel's operations must stop as there are no safe places left for Palestinians. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has commented too, saying he'll do everything possible to hold what he called barbarians and murderers accountable.